Hello, BookTube. I got a bit of a mail haul, not a mail haul, a book haul for you today. We started the day, in New England we've had for centuries what's called town meeting day. And usually that's in a church or a government building or somewhere where we all get together. And today is the first one we've ever done remotely. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think we did the last one remotely. So it was a bit odd. It's everybody in town gets together and we vote on everything. The budget, school budget, split into two parts. You do the school, then you do the town, and then in the last bit of time we've done it by Australian ballot. Used to be you voted right there, and it gives the local people a lot of power over their own budgets. So somebody like me who works in the library, I have to convince them that I'm spending their money wisely and that not knocking their taxes up too much. And we work really hard at that because we think it's important. And I live here, and I don't want my taxes to be crazy. Of course, some of that's affected by teachers needing insurance, librarians needing insurance, town employees needing insurance, equipment. Costs go up, but we did well on one half of it this year, and have a hard sell on another part, but the library looks pretty good. So after that was done, and it was an odd experience, everybody did the best they could. My wife and I decided we need to get out of the house and away from the computer, and we went and did a book haul at Listen, our local charity shop, or a charity shop we can drive to, and then went and got fixings for chili tonight because we still have a lot of snow. This morning started with snow and ended with a little bit of misty rain, which is pretty nasty and can be a little dangerous. So we got off the road and we're back home. But I did get some books, and at the end, a real treasure that I will open with you because it has never been opened. So to start with, I got a mass market paperback, one I've had many, many times, and I don't have a copy. I was actually looking for it the other day, and I'm surprised I don't have a copy, and this is the Spoon River Anthology by Edgar Lee Masters. Some poetry for those of you who know what it is, and not copyright 1914, 1915. It has an introduction by May Swenson, and who is this? It has somebody's little signature. It's Collier Books, Macmillan Publishing Company, New York. And if you got it in England, it would be Collier Macmillan Publishers in London. And this is like the 39th printing. It's from 1962. It's poetry. If you've never read them before, I enjoy them. Very, very interesting. So, I got that as a replacement. Then this next one, I know several people on BookTube will be interested in this, and they probably already know about it. I didn't know about it. I don't know why. This is from the author of The Battle Cry of Freedom, which is one of my favorite Civil War books. And this is James McPherson's Hallowed Ground, A Walk at Gettysburg. A slight thing, a very ominous and sad cover. So this is from Crown Journeys, they're called. They have a whole list of these. I'll put it up here. You can put it on stop if you want to see what they are. But I didn't know about this series. In papers, Gettysburg. I don't know if they're the same on the other side. No. A little more detail on the other side. There is our author. Great historian for sure. So they have also already out, when this came out, been Land's End by Michael Cunningham, After the Dance by Edwidge Danicat, City of the Soul by William Murray, and Washington Schlepped Here by Christopher Buckley. So, yeah. A whole list of McPherson's writings. Plenty of those. Crown Publishers out of New York. So the paperback was 50 cents. These hardbacks that you'll see, I think they're all the rest of them are hardbacks, are $1 a piece. And this came out in 2003. I haven't even looked at it. So inside there's another map, which will be handy. I don't know if they have any photographs or another map. Yeah, I don't see any photographs. So not bad. Not very quick read, and looking forward to it. And this next one my wife found. I don't know if anybody remembers, but a couple months ago, I may have just showed it on Instagram. I'm not sure. I found a couple over the last few years. I found a couple of the McSweeney's magazines, hardbound. They're usually printed, really interesting, and all that. But my wife noticed that this thing, it's not anything I know about, is actually what they called a McSweeney's rectangular. So it's not like the magazines. Very pretty cover on this thing. It's Here They Come by Yannick Murphy. Here's the end papers. And just because it's McSweeney's, I'm grabbing it, and it was a good find by her. So it's McSweeney's books out of San Francisco, 2006. Other than that, I don't know a thing about it, but that was enough to attract me to it and for my wife to pick up on it. So I'll give it a read. If anybody knows about it, let me know. I didn't have time to look it up, and we'll find out. The next one's an old standby. I don't have a copy and I wanted a copy. This is John Krakauer's Into Thin Air, personal account of the Mount Everest disaster. It's a very, very famous book. There you go. Nice hardback. There's the end papers. It's about just what it says it is. Is that the same? Yeah, it's the same map. Here's our author looking really young. And this came out, this is Villard out of New York, and this came out in 1997. And it's just what it claims to be. It's wonderful woodcuts. So a rather well-known volume. When I keep wanting to say Jack. When John Krakauer reached the summit of Mount Everest in the early afternoon of May 10th, 1996, he hadn't slept in 57 hours and was reeling from the brain-altering effects of oxygen depletion. As he turned to begin his long, dangerous descent from 29,028 feet, 20 other climbers were still pushing doggedly toward the top. No one had noticed that the sky had begun to fill with clouds. 6 hours later, and 3,000 feet lower, in 70-knot winds and blinding snow, Krakauer collapsed in his tent, freezing, hallucinating from exhaustion and hypoxia, but safe. The following morning, he learned that 6 of his fellow climbers hadn't made it back to the camp and were in desperate struggle for their lives. When the storm finally passed, 5 of them would be dead, and the 6th so horribly frostbitten that his right hand would have to be amputated. So this is the story of that. A very well-known book. Then we'll get into some baseball. This is Roberto Clemente, biography. The old Pirates player. The Passion and Grace of Baseball's Last Hero by David Moranis. This is Simon & Schuster out of New York, and this came out in 2006. I remember Clemente playing. I grew up in an area where we had American League baseball because I watched the Red Sox, so I didn't see him a lot, but I knew who he was, as did everybody else. And what a baseball player he certainly was, and what a man. So he definitely had a very interesting and impactful life, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. Of course, he died tragically and on a goodwill mission. So we can see a little bit of that here. So I don't know this particular biography. Love that picture. But I am looking forward to it. So we will see. I'm using a microphone here because we have had some sound problems. Some people say we do, and some people say we don't. And I apologize if we do. So I'm trying to. I don't know what kind of sounds this is picking up. I'll give you a view of it. It's one of these things. I feel like Howard Cosell here or something. So next, another sports book, The Impossible Team, the worst to first Patriots Super Bowl season. Great image there. This is by Nick Cafardo, a Boston sports writer who just passed away tragically. And it has a foreword by Troy Brown and afterwards by Adam Vinatieri. So those field goals matter, and extra points matter. But we've all seen or those who are interested have seen that Tom Brady did the same, won a Super Bowl just this last year in his 40s for Tampa Bay, so over Kansas City. So there's Drew Bledsoe, who was the original quarterback. There's the parade. Those are duck boats, and this is in Boston. Let's see what else they have. And there's Tom Brady Begins, right there. He was to go on and win many more. So I look forward to this. Mostly, I have a pretty good collection of this sort of thing. So we get away from sports a little bit. I have a lot of Sherlock Holmes. I like Sherlock Holmes. I'm not a completist by any means. I have a big annotated set of Sherlock Holmes. But I saw this is volume 2. And I do this sometimes because I usually find what I'm looking for eventually. So this is a complete Sherlock Holmes, obviously Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, prefaced by Christopher Morley, which is pretty much why I picked this up, and I'll pick up the other one. This is it right here. And then you want to look inside 221B. Volume 2 is The Return of Sherlock Holmes, 13 short stories. The Hound of the Baskervilles, a novel. The Valley of Fear, a novel. His Last Bow, 8 short stories. And The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, 12 short stories. So I have all these things. But again, I got it for the Morley introduction. So this was... the copyright on this particular thing here is a nightmare to read, so I'm not even going to bother. But the print's a bit small, but that's fine. So I'll track down another one of these to go with my Sherlock Holmes collection. I'll track down volume 1. And then finally, the find of the day. So you got to be, when you go to these places and they categorize books, even if it's an area that doesn't interest you, you really need to check them out. Just take a minute at least and go check it out. I do that with cookbooks and have found books that shouldn't have been there. I've done it with kids' books and found books that were not children's literature there. I've done it quite a bit, and I don't do it as much as I should. But today I went over into the religious section, and I think because the person thought this had something to do with the Bible, that it was there, and it's never been. And this is Bibliophile, an illustrated miscellany by Jane Mount. It's going to have a little bit of reflection here because the plastic's still on it. So you'll get to see as quick as I do. We'll see what happens here. It could be a great book. It could be a terrible book. But for $1, why wouldn't you give it a shot, right? Let me take all this off here. So it's a handsome looking volume. This over and make sure I get that thrown away so the cats don't mess with it. So you see it has all these books illustrated. So Kill a Mockingbird, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, Tale of Two Cities. I'll let you take a look and bring this out. So they also tried to move the camera and the microphone to a different place to see if that helps any. So here's the end papers. Chronicle books out of San Francisco. Let's see here. And this, 2018, so it's not that old. And here's the introduction, what it looks like. Because I have obviously never seen this before. Baking and desserts. Oh, that's sort of neat. Writer's pets. Okay. Find out who those are. Poetry. It seems like a bit of fun. I'll look forward to going through it. Short stories. Techno thrills and cyberpunks. Let's see, dystopia. Southern Lit. Let's see. Beautiful contemporary covers. So it's just fun to go through, right? Write your own bookstores. Beloved bookstores. Whose beloved bookstores, I wonder? Type Books in Toronto. Unity Books in Auckland. Striking libraries. I don't know why my library in there. I don't know what they're missing. Cult classics. So I'll stop going. There's a lot of them. So yeah, it looks like fun. So not too. I actually think I can do Steve Donahue pyramid here. Let me give it a try. Pile them right up here. So there we go. Not too bad for a day's work. And I hope everyone's doing well, and we will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.